Everybody has those memories that pop into their head when asked, "How were you raised?" But not everyone is going to give a similar answer. You might remember your older brother flicking your food across the table, or when your grandpa had to move in with your family because his dementia was acting up. I remember riding a truck at 5 a.m. to reach a hunting spot before the sun came up. It started when I was 3 and my dad bought me my first recurve. We had a black hole archery target set up at the end of this long stretch of basement. At the other end, there was a conveniently placed bar where we could set our arrows that weren't in the quiver, and where my dad had set his phone to play music that ranged from Metallica to George Strait. When I look at who I am deep down, this memory always appears. My dad buying me that recurve started so many lifetime memories, and it provided me the best bonding with a parent that I'd ever had. It also supplied me with some of my favorite hobbies that I would like to pass on to my children someday, like my dad did to me. Today, I'm going to be talking about the different aspects of the recurve and how it's important to my life. In a few minutes, you'll know how it's used, how the culture is associated is an important part of my life, and how it has taught me certain values. I would associate the bow with the hunting culture. If you don't know how to use a bow, it's pretty simple. First, it's basically a curved aluminum with a string attached to the ends. All you have to do is set the arrow in the rest, attach the nock to the string, pull back, aim through the sight, and let your fingers slowly slip away. A bow can be used for multiple reasons. Personally, I use a compound bow for competitive archery shoots and deer hunting. I also used it as a way to spend time with my dad. We would go out in the country with a target and just shoot around. There was many different weapons to use while hunting, and a bow is a common one. Some people actually like it a lot more than other weapons such as guns because it takes more skill to use a bow and it's more natural. One of the culture's values includes respect for the animal. A bow demonstrates that widely because of the hard work and dedication that comes with it. When hunting with a bow, you have to be much more closer and intimate with the animal than a rifle. This means covering your scent better, making even less noise, and controlling your movements. Also, since it takes more precision and skill, there's many more hours of practice that is behind the hunting. My dad always told me I need to keep practicing because I owe it to the animal. Now that I discussed the culture that surrounds it, this leads me how to becoming part of the culture and how it's affected me as a person. I consider myself part of the hunting culture because it's something I have done since I was a little kid. As I mentioned earlier, at the age of 3, I was already hunting. Every time the family gets together, we go out on my uncle's land and hunt. Even if we're not hunting, we're usually talking about it. It sounds kind of ridiculous, but it's all there really is to do in a small town in South Dakota. I learned many different lessons from hunting and the different aspects of it, which is why it's so important to me. Hard work isn't something you owe just yourself, it's something you owe to the people around you too. And when hard work pays off, it's rewarding. I learned this at a young age, so I was always able to apply it to my life as I grew up. Whether it was sports, academics, or work, I was always putting 100% in. Following up to this, it has always taught me that it's okay to fail. In fact, most of the time we went out hunting, we came home empty-handed. It taught me patience too. But the feeling you get when a deer is approaching and you shoot your shot and it drops down, it makes the wait and the previous failures all worth it. Hunting provided a great way to connect with my family, which made me appreciate them even more. It struck a stronger sense of family value in me, which is something I want to share with my family in the future. Lastly, it taught me that nothing worthwhile ever comes easy. Sometimes those smaller bucks might come around, but towards the end of the season, sometimes a huge buck finds its way towards your hunting spot. Every day, I know that bigger things are coming. When my dad bought me that bow 15 years ago, I had no idea that becoming part of the hunting culture would provide me with so many life lessons and values that I can carry throughout my life. My bow has always been an important object in my life, and it helped create a sense of belonging somewhere. It also helped me develop as a person by engraving meaningful aspects into my life. Looking at it overall, a bow is more than just a weapon, whether it be actually used for hunting or for competitive shooting at targets. But since a bow is involved in the hunting culture, I was able to obtain a lot of the cultural values that came with it, such as hard work, patience, and family. My bow is more than just an object. It carries meaning with it. It determined who I am and where I belong.